All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world. Kakas and dadas and kakas all over the world. The name of this channel is The African Times, and I'm Thomas. Welcome, brothers and sisters, whichever time of the day this message finds you. How are you? Just a little breaking news, quick story to give you an idea of the environment in which we find ourselves in this capitalist system, this system of economic colonialism, a colonial mode of production that forces us to live in a certain way. As it turns out, it's being reported by many mainstream media companies that children, elementary children, are being arrested. Elementary children, fifth grade, that type of elementary children. They're being arrested in school, handcuffed, and charged criminally. Some reports say they're being arrested and processed violently. Now, there is a program that features this story. CBS has a program. I don't know how long ago it came on, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. You can check it out. So go to it. Handcuffs in Hallways, I think is the name of the program. Handcuffs in Hallways. You can Google that. I'm sure even if the title that I have is a little inaccurate, you'll still get it to come up on YouTube. You can check it out. Now, the interesting thing is in this video, this program produced by CBS, they highlight one of the arrests of a child, and he doesn't look like me or you. But in one of the reports, a couple of the reports I heard that are actually from a source that I consider highly credible. In that report from that source, they allude to the idea that many of these arrests, and they say thousands of children over the past few years have been arrested, thousands, around 1,000 or so, that many of them are non-white, is how it was stated. Non-white. Now, usually, if you look like me and you have children who look like me, who look like you, non-white is an indication that you're talking about black and brown children in the various shades, in the various ethnicities, in the various nationalities. So, would that be an indication of a country that's moving in the direction of eliminating those types of racial problems? A country, a nation, a group of people with a desire to eradicate inappropriate behavior towards people who are non-white, people who look like me and you. It doesn't indicate that to me. And that doesn't indicate to me that there is an effort to maintain a humane society, a leadership of the world in, human rights. Now, if you add that to the fact that it's reported that America has the largest prison population in the world. Now, that's been reported. And if that's true, and America makes up a very small percentage of the entire world population, maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe it's just not, some individual group making this mistake. You have to, at a point, begin to wonder if it's just simply those people who do not look like you and me, that they have a culture, that they have a set of values that are contradictory to the values that they promote to the world. Now, to be fair to those people, because remember, I understand that you cannot say all people are this way, all people behave this way. No, we understand that. The problem, which is common among all people, and this we can say all people, there are people who will act to solve a problem, and there are people who will not act to solve a problem. And that's where we get into our specific situation as people who look like me and you. We have people in our society who are not going to act to do anything to solve the problem that we face. With the people, with the W's, the people who don't look like you and me. But also within the group of W's, there are a large number of those people who are not going to do anything to solve our problem, the problem of people who look like you and me, because for them, it is not their problem. Even though much of the hardship we face is a result of people who look like them. Okay? Now, this is a very important part and point to understand. Capitalism, colonialism, produces those individuals with that mindset. Yes, naturally it exists among us. Even if there were no capitalism, you would have people who act and people who don't. I'm not talking about that though. We're aware of that, and its natural state will occur. What I'm talking about is the fact that capitalism produces an abundance of those people who will not act. A disproportionate abundance of those people who will not act. Even if that action is required for their own self-sustainment, for their own survival, they won't act. Their natural instinct has been removed and replaced by a capitalist ideology. And I'll give you an example. See, capitalism creates a dual society. I told you before, capitalism economically produces a society of haves and have-nots. They tell you there's a middle class, but that's really an illusion. Because the middle class is simply of people who got a little bit more money to be able to survive. And they can survive fairly well. The rich people, obviously, they are not surviving, they're thriving. But then the vast majority, the great majority of people, they don't have. They're struggling day to day to survive. And that group that they call the middle class, which is another extension of the haves, are positioned in front of those who do not have to say, no, it's not a system that's making you that way. Look at all of these people. They have. You can have too. You can get to that level. But if you live in America, you understand, to be able to move from one part of the economic ladder to another part is extremely difficult. And now it's almost next to impossible, because the empire is at its end stage. So it has moved its production from one part of the world to another part of the world to another part of the world, and now other parts of the world are declining the introduction of American Western capitalism into their societies because of the devastation that capitalist system brings to a society of people, particularly a society of people who don't look like the W's, people who look like me and you. Okay? So this is what we find in ourselves. This is what we find. That system produces a group of people who have and the people who have not. The people who have not have children and families, and then those children growing up in those circumstances where it's a day-to-day struggle for survival are impacted by that negatively. So capitalism creates a negative environment where children who do not have cannot thrive. And as a result of that, capitalism now capitalizes on that by building prisons, by incarcerating the people. And if those people happen to be children, then capitalism will incarcerate them as well. So that's what's going on, everybody. I just wanted to pop in and give you an idea of what's being reported now. Capitalism, breaking news. It's being reported that thousands, hundreds in the handcuffs, hundreds, but other reports say thousands. So we can assume capitalism is not going to promote itself as bad, so they'll lower the number to fit whatever they need. But whether it's hundreds of thousands, even if it's one child, elementary children being arrested, it's one too many. All right, everybody, I love you all. Just breaking news. We must protect our children and our future, whatever that requires of us to do. I love you all. Uhuru. Uhuru. Uhuru.